Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about rare and special US quarters that might be hiding in your pocket. Some of these coins look normal but are worth a lot of money. They have cool mistakes and stories behind them. You could be holding a coin worth thousands. Let's find out what to look for. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about a coin that looks very normal but can be worth big money. It's the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark. This coin was made right after a big change in US coin history. Before 1965, quarters were made with 90% silver. But silver was getting too expensive, so the US Mint decided to stop using it. In 1965, they started making quarters with a copper-nickel mix instead. This new metal is cheaper and doesn't have the same value as silver. To make sure people didn't save or hoard coins from one mint, the government also removed mint marks that year. So, every 1965 quarter has no mint mark, no matter where it was made. That was normal and done on purpose. But something strange happened. Some of these 1965 quarters were made using the old silver blanks, also called silver planchets. These were left over from 1964 and were not supposed to be used anymore. But a few of them got into the machines by mistake. So now, there are a few rare 1965 silver quarters out there, and they are worth a lot of money. You can tell if your 1965 quarter is silver by checking its weight. A regular quarter made with copper and nickel weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver one weighs about 6.25 grams. You will need a small scale to check this. Also, silver quarters have a shiny silver edge, while regular quarters have a copper color on the edge. Another way to test is by sound. If you drop a silver coin on a table, it makes a ringing sound, different from a regular coin. These rare silver quarters are worth thousands of dollars. If the coin is clean, shiny, and in perfect condition, it can sell for a high price. Some collectors have paid between $5,000 and $8,000 for a single silver 1965 quarter. The better the condition, the more it can be worth. But that's not all. There are other rare error quarters too. One of the most famous is called the double-tail quarter. This is a coin that has two reverse sides, meaning the eagle side is on both sides of the coin. There is no front side with George Washington's face. This happened by mistake at the mint and is very rare. These kinds of coins are not supposed to exist, but a few did slip through. They are known as mint errors and are very valuable to collectors. The double-tail quarter is so rare that it can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Some of these have sold for up to $80,000. It's amazing to think a small coin like a quarter could be worth that much, but it's true. These coins are treasures for collectors. Many people find valuable coins by checking old change, coin rolls from the bank, or family coin jars. You never know what you might find. A coin that looks normal could be a rare one worth big money. If you have a 1965 quarter, it's a good idea to check the weight, the edge, and even get it looked at by a coin expert. So, the next time you see a 1965 quarter with no mint mark, don't toss it away. Look closer. It could be just a regular coin, or it could be one of the rarest and most valuable quarters ever made. Next up, we have the 1776 to 1976 quarter dollar, also known as the Drummer Boy quarter. This coin is one of the most well-known quarters in the United States. It was made to celebrate America's 200th birthday, also called the bicentennial. That's why the date on the coin is special. Instead of 1 year, it shows 1776 to 1976. That means it honors the 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. This coin looks different from regular quarters. On the front, it still has George Washington's face, just like always. But on the back, instead of the usual eagle, you'll see a colonial drummer boy holding a drum. There's also a small torch with 13 stars, which stand for the original 13 colonies of the United States. This design was picked through a national contest. Many people love this coin because of the unique look and the meaning behind it. The 1776 to 1976 Drummer Boy quarter was made in very large numbers. The US Mint produced millions and millions of them. They were made in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Because so many were made, most of these coins are not rare. You can still find them in your pocket change, and they are usually worth only 25 cents unless they are in perfect condition. But there are some special versions that can be worth more. The most valuable ones are the silver-proof coins, made in San Francisco. These were not made for regular use, but for collectors. They contain 40% silver, and they came in special coin sets. If you have one of these silver versions in perfect shape, it can be worth a few dollars, sometimes even $10 to $50 depending on the grade. There are also some error coins and high-grade coins that are worth more. For example, a drummer boy quarter with a double die error or one with a mistake in the strike can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But these are very rare. Also, coins that are graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, and have no scratches or wear, can sell for $1,000 or more to serious collectors. You may have heard people say the 1776 to 1976 drummer boy quarter with no mint mark is worth $40,000, but that's not really true. There are no real reports of any drummer boy quarter selling for that much. Most of the time, that number comes from internet rumors or clickbait stories. Yes, some error coins or perfect high-grade examples can be valuable, but they don't usually reach $40,000. If a coin really sold for that much, it would be well known in the coin world, and it would be all over auction sites like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Still, it's always a good idea to check your coins carefully. If you find a 1776 to 1976 drummer boy quarter, look at the condition. Is it shiny and like new? Is it silver? Does it have any strange marks or errors? If yes, it might be worth more than face value. You can take it to a coin shop or send it to a grading company to be checked. Just don't believe everything you read online about high prices. So remember, even though most of these quarters are common, some special versions and error coins can be worth real money. It all depends on the mint, the metal, the condition, and if there are any mint errors. Keep your eyes open, you never know what you might have in your change jar. Now let's look at the next coin, the 2021 D Crossing the Delaware Quarter. This one is a newer coin but still very interesting. It's part of a special issue made after the end of the America the Beautiful Quarter series. That series ran from 2010 to 2021 and featured U.S. national parks. When it ended, the U.S. Mint wanted to go back to something more historical. So in 2021, they released the Crossing the Delaware Quarter. This coin shows a very famous moment in American history. On the front, like always, you see George Washington's face. But it's not the same as the design we've seen for many years. This one uses an older version of Washington's portrait by Laura Gardin Fraser, which shows more detail and looks more classic. On the back of the coin, you'll see General George Washington standing in a boat, holding a sword, leading his soldiers across the icy Delaware River. This scene is from the night of December 25, 1776, during the Revolutionary War. Washington and his troops crossed the river in secret to launch a surprise attack. It was a very risky move, but it worked, and it helped change the course of the war. That's why this image is so powerful and important in American history. This coin was made at different U.S. mints, including Denver, so if your coin has a D mint mark, it means it was made there. Millions of these coins were made, so most of them are still only worth 25 cents. But a few coins have something special that makes them worth much more. Some 2021 D Crossing the Delaware quarters have errors or are in perfect condition, and that's where the value goes up. One of the most talked about errors is the die-chipped error, where extra metal appears on the coin, usually near Washington's hat or face. These small mistakes can make the coin unique. Some people really like collecting error coins, so they're willing to pay more. Also, if the coin is in perfect shape, meaning no scratches, no wear, and looks brand new, it can be worth more too. These coins are called high-grade coins. If your quarter is graded MS67 or higher by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC, it might sell for a few $100s, or even more, depending on the buyer. Some collectors have paid up to $1,500 for a 2021 D Crossing the Delaware quarter with special errors or very high grades. But keep in mind, this is not common. Most coins will not sell for that much unless they are really rare or in amazing condition. So, how can you tell if your 2021 D quarter is worth more than face value? First, check the mint mark. If it has a D, it was made in Denver. Next, look closely at the coin. Is there anything odd about it? Any bumps, extra metal, or strange shapes? Those could be die chip errors. Also, check the condition. If the coin looks like it just came out of the mint, with no marks or damage, it might be worth sending to a grading company. This coin is still new, so prices may change in the future. As more people start collecting modern coins, the value of rare and perfect examples could go up. That's why it's a good idea to check your coins now and keep any that look special or different. Even a modern coin like this one can surprise you. So don't overlook your change, it could be hiding something valuable right in your pocket. And now, let's talk about a very special and modern coin, the 2022 D Washington Quarter Maya Angelou. This coin is not just about money, it's also about history, culture, and honoring an American icon. It was the first coin in the U.S. Mint's American Women Quarters program, which began in 2022. This series honors important women in American history. And it all started with Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was a poet, author, and civil rights activist. She is known around the world for her powerful words, strong voice, and life story. One of her most famous books is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She stood for hope, courage, and equality, and many people look up to her. That's why it was such a big deal when she became the first black woman to appear on a U.S. quarter. Now let's talk about the coin itself. On the front side, you still see George Washington, but this version of his face is different from the old one. It's a design by artist Laura Gardin Fraser, the same artist we mentioned earlier in the 2021 Delaware Quarter. This design shows a more detailed and lifelike version of Washington. The U.S. Mint used this design to bring something fresh to the coin while still honoring tradition. On the back side of the coin, you'll see Maya Angelou standing with her arms raised. Behind her, there's a bird in flight and a rising sun, which represent freedom and her famous poem Still I Rise. It's a beautiful and meaningful design that tells her story through symbols. If your coin has a D mint mark, it was made at the Denver Mint. Like most quarters, millions of these were made for everyday use, so most are still worth just 25 cents. But there are some that are worth more, sometimes much more. Some 2022 D Maya Angelou quarters have small errors. For example, a die chip error or a strike-through error can make your coin unique. These mistakes happen during the minting process when something goes wrong with the dies or metal. Even small errors can raise the value of a coin for collectors. Another reason a coin could be worth more is if it's in perfect condition. If your quarter has no scratches, no wear, and looks super shiny, it might be what collectors call a high-grade coin. Coins graded MS67 or MS68 by professional companies like PCGS or NGC are worth more than normal coins. Some of these high-grade Maya Angelou quarters have sold for over $1,000, and in rare cases, as much as $1,900. To find out if your coin is worth more, look at the edges, the shine, and any strange marks or raised bumps that don't look normal. If the coin looks perfect or has something unusual, it might be time to have it checked by a coin expert or sent to a grading service. Even though this coin is new, it already means a lot to collectors, not just for its value, but for what it represents. Maya Angelou's image on a U.S. coin is a powerful moment in American history, and many people want to collect it for that reason alone. So check your change, your coin jars, or even bankrolls. You might just find a 2022 D Maya Angelou quarter that's not only beautiful but also valuable. Modern coins like this prove that you don't have to go back 50 years to find something rare. Even new quarters can hold surprising value, both in money and in meaning. To wrap up, coin value depends heavily on rarity, errors, metal composition, and condition. A plain old quarter might be worth just 25 cents or thousands if it's the right rarity. Thanks for watching, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you want me to explore another coin next time. See you soon.